and welcome to the Homemade Podcast Sports. This is your host, J. Pops.
And welcome back to the Homemade Podcast Sports. This is your host, J. Pops. Guys, on this latest edition of the Homemade Podcast Sports, this will be the overreaction. This will be the overreaction from week 2 of our Texas A&M Aggies. Yes, hell yeah, I'm frustrated just as well as you guys. So, hey, we're going to let a little bit of frustration out. Please, if you guys are frustrated, please vent to this video. Let all your frustration rain. Also on this latest edition, we have a special guest by the name of J.Sims. J.Sims, where you at, man? Let these guys know who you are. And he's a huge Aggie fan, man. So hey, without further ado, J.Sims, ladies and gentlemen.
Jay, I appreciate it. My name is Jonathan Symington. I've been an Aggie fan, man, as long as I can remember. And I'm just a guy that I'm just a regular fan that likes to talk Aggie sports, and especially Aggie football. And what a better day to do it, right? Overreaction Sunday, it seems like.
Yes. And guys, like I say, man, this is the overreaction part. On today at least. This the overreaction edition. If you guys haven't seen now, this is my first ever time doing the overreaction edition because, woo, man, we got some things to talk about. First off, for the guys that did not know and did not catch the game, I'm pretty sure you guys caught the highlights. It was news all around the world, I believe. But number 13, Texas A&M against number 2 Alabama. First of all, we went in Tuscaloosa. Yes, Pete. The score, 52-24. Yeah, we got our ass blown out. We got blown out in a major way. Is there still hope for this Aggie team? Yes, it is, and it is major hope. I know a lot of guys won't believe that, especially listening to that score and seeing that score, but we're going to kind of get into a couple of things of a little bit of positive and a whole lot of negative. A whole lot of negative. Like I say, the score is 52-24. I'm gonna just vent myself here. First off, it was a truly lopsided game. My DBs did not show up. Good God Almighty, they did not show up. If we're going to run that type of defensive back coverage, like I said on last one, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, Florida is going to come in there to Aggie Stadium and lay another 52 points on us. If we're going to do that with our defensive backs and put them in those type of situations, they're going to slam us for 52 again. Why? Because Florida is the number 3 team right now. They're number 3. Hell, we just got through playing the number 2 team, and we seen what they can do offensively. So going into this next game with Florida, man, number 3, if we're going to run that pair of defensive plays, man, I'm going to tell you right now, man, it's going to be a long ass game. I did not like it. Offense, we took a step forward. Yes, we did a lot. And of course, the score doesn't say that, but we did take a leap offensively. We ran some good things. I actually like what I've seen from Kellen Mond, but Kellen Mond still needs to improve, man. He has to improve. Kellen Mond has to put it into his mind that he is not a pocket passer. If that check down or whatever is not there, Kellen, you have to take off running. That 4th down play to Nias Smith. Well, Nias didn't catch the ball. That is not on Kellen Mond, people.
No.
That is not on Kellen Mond. That is not.
No.
Do I wish he maybe would have took off and started running? Yeah, maybe, but Anaya Smith was wide open. He was wide open. He just didn't catch the ball. And in order to beat an elite competition or at least stay in a battle with elite competition like Alabama, man, you're gonna have to make some plays. You're gonna have to make some plays. So we had some explosive plays, but it was a couple of plays that were going to be explosive, and we just didn't execute. We didn't. J.Sims, how do you feel, man, about this? About that game against Alabama?
We have a long road ahead of us still. The there are a lot of bright sides along with the other stuff that happened yesterday. Kellen Mond looked really good. I mean, he looked, man, better than what I thought he was going to. You know, he had some really good plays. For the most part, his passes were accurate. Um, you know, there was that third down pass close to the end zone on the on our first carry down the field. It you know, that kind of ended it in the field goal, missed field goal. That hurts when you start getting, you know, you start getting momentum. It seems like at the beginning of the game, like last year, and you know, it didn't end up panning out, and then they go down the field and score rather easily with a long pass. Yeah, I don't know what it was. You know, I question a lot of things like the game plan. Where was our game plan? When this, you know, this isn't the first time we faced this team. We knew it was going to be a rough game.
Right.
We thought, or I thought if I thought since it was the second game of the year that there would be a good chance that we'd be able to stay in it because, you know, in my head I was like, man, this Alabama, they haven't had a chance to mold yet. You know, they have a quarterback that's played 11 games, so I'm guessing they're used to him. You know, but we weren't able to really see against Missouri, you know, that their blocking scheme, you know, their offensive line's blocking. And so you know, I still had a lot of questions before the game.
Yeah.
About, you know, were we going to be able to penetrate their offensive line? We weren't, you know, not nearly what I thought we were going to. I expected more out of our defensive line, you know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like you said, our DBs, man.
Man,
So
hey.
there were drop there were drop passes. There were a lot of mistakes on the Aggies' part. We still have a lot of work to do, and
yes, man, we have a ton of work to do. A ton of work to do. Like I say, it wasn't the offense fault. Which is crazy to say. Like I say, once again, looking at the score, what I was happy to see though. Now I was happy to see that Demond Demas was on the field.
Yeah,
it's just a simple fact that we couldn't get the ball to Demas, and also he was only in there for like a couple of plays. So
yeah,
I don't know why he maybe wasn't in there, you know, for the entire game. Or maybe it's something, you know, just kind of like going on there because he's still a freshman. So maybe he has still kind of like work out the kinks. Will we see him in the Florida game? Man, I'm still hoping so because that guy, like I say, we can't put everything on the freshman, but for the simple fact that we all know that that guy is a playmaker, man. I know when he gets on that field and he gets his hand on the ball, he's going to do some electric things. And like what you just said, with Kellen Mond, man, Kellen Mond was pretty damn accurate. I mean, he was 25 of 44, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns. Who the hell expected that? I didn't. I'm not gonna lie to you, I honestly didn't. But that one lone interception that was returned for a touchdown. It killed a little bit. The second and 22 play. My God, that just took all of the little fight. And I know a lot of people's going to laugh at that, but that took all of the little fight that we had in that Aggies team all the way out. And of course, this is the number 2 team. So, you know, I cannot say, you know, that we're going to, just overreact as wild, you know, because hell, like I say, man, it was the number 2 team in all of college football. It's just a simple fact that we didn't know what Mac Jones we were going to get. Hell, and the Mac Jones that we seen, he was pretty damn good. Although he almost threw a pick 6 too. But it's just a simple fact that Mac Jones knows the type of guys that he has on that wide receiver side, and also a tight end. Hell, he knows the type of guys that he's playing with. And Mac Jones by far looked more comfortable than what I've ever seen.
Well, he
With
had all day.
against Alabama.
You know, he had all day.
He had all day.
We were able to get hands, you know, up and bat down some balls, but we were just never able to get through that offensive line. Not very often. He didn't have to run out of the pocket very often. He had all day.
He had all day. And man, Mac Jones looked like he had been playing for Alabama, and he's been the starter for a couple of years. I'm not going to lie to you.
He looked really good.
He looked damn good. That guy was like 20 for 27. My goodness. If you're going to let a QB throw 27 times and complete 20 of them, man, I'm going to tell you this right now. And if he's dead at that, and you know what, but that's not the only part. Both of his receivers that went over 100+ yards, those guys only had 5 receptions out the entire day. Only 5. Their yards per play, and that's what killed us, was about 16.1 yards per play. That will annihilate any team in all of college football. That will annihilate anybody. So like I say, you know, man, we're just overreacting. This is a little bit of frustration, but 16 point something yards to play, you cannot give up that. Now, the good thing about it is that Alabama's now out the way. You know, now we get a glimpse of elite competition. Hell, we get it every year. So it's not like it's nothing new.
Right.
But we got a glimpse of, okay, well, this is what elite competition can do to you if everything is clicking right. They can beat your ass, you know. But I heard something very interesting from a Alabama fan. And this is what Alabama fans spoke of. And it's crazy because this is what we've all been talking about. Alabama fans stated that, man, you guys can actually hang with us. And, you know, you guys are actually one of the better teams in the SEC West and the SEC period. You guys just doesn't have a quarterback. So, of course, we're going to go ahead and get on into the questions, but I just wanted to give you guys that emphasis. No, it didn't know, you know, hey, man, you know what, this is just to make you guys feel a little better. No, it's not that. It's the simple fact that other fans of the game are looking at the same thing we're looking at. Man, we have a ton of talent on this team. Is Kellen Mond the problem? I don't know. With this game here, he simply wasn't the problem. And before we get off into, you know, the questions, I just want to tell you guys this. A&M stats. 25 first downs. So we made a drastic improvement. 10 out of 17 on third downs. Major drastic improvement from the Vanderbilt game. 0 of 2 on fourth downs, though. That will kill anybody. 0 out of 2. 2 punts. Once again, for the second game in a row, we only had 2 punts. That is unheard of. Especially with Texas A&M. That is unheard of. 2 punts and only 24 points. I will say this, man. It is potential. we have potential to be a dynamic playmaking team in a major way. 2 punts in 2 games? Wow. Alabama only had 2 now. Don't get me wrong. But only 2 punts, man. Do you not know that we were actually both damn near the same in stat-wise? Alabama had 22 first downs, 5 out of 10 on third downs. Didn't go for fourth downs, obviously. 55 total plays, though, and 2 punts. We had 77 total plays, 20 plays more. It's just a simple fact that their receivers kept on killing us with the deep balls. They kept on killing us. So let's go ahead and get on into the questions here. All right. So my first question: what actually happened in that game? Were we really not talented enough on both sides of the ball, or was it just a bad game overall? J.Sims, give me your emphasis on it. What do you think?
Well, this, like I said, we've faced this team before, a team like this before. Every year, Alabama recruits really high, really heavily. They always get the top recruits. You see so many 5 stars, 4 stars going to that school, and A&M still has several more years before we get there. Maybe I'm hoping within the next, maybe next year. That's what we hear a lot. That's what a lot of fans are tired of hearing of, though. Hearing about next year.
I know.
It's next year.
Yeah.
But talent takes time. Saban, I want to say his first year at Alabama was a losing season.
Right.
And then the next year after that, it got better. But Saban at LSU was able to recruit well. Everyone knew him because he did so well at LSU. And then he comes to Alabama. Hey, I want to go play for Saban. He knows how to, build NFL talent.
Right.
We're seeing that. That, like I said yesterday, that is a NFL type team.
And it is.
It is, man. Those are big boys.
Years. Yeah.
They are. Yeah, they are big boys. They know how to build them right. They do. And that is a culture over there. An NFL style culture over there.
Yes.
And that's what Jimbo's trying to bring over here.
Right. Because of course we all remember, man, Jimbo Fisher worked under Nick Saban too at LSU.
Yeah.
And he was able to bring in recruits for Nick Saban and for his style of offense as well. So Jimbo Fisher knows what he's doing. Hell, like we've just seen, man, we actually have talent. It's just hell. We have to put everything in the right place to be able to compete with the elite competition. So yeah.
I think a lot of it though was game plan. Our guys just didn't look ready. We still have a lot of young guys on that field. But I want to see, okay, so if next week against Florida, we get down by 2 touchdowns, I don't see any reason why we should keep a lot of these
young studs back.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So, we had a defensive problem yesterday, letting their wide receivers just do whatever they wanted to us. Now, who would have thought? I think his name is Mitchie. Man, no one ever heard of him. I think he's a freshman. He's a freshman, and that guy reminded me of Waddle. Today, he looked good.
That was a Waddle number 2.
That was.
Yes. If you guys are listening, Alabama's next competition is Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, can you guys pull the upset? Yeah, you probably can. But as of right now, I don't see it. I do not see it at all. Goodness gracious, like you say, man, that guy Mitchie, unbelievable. Now you talking about an NFL wide receiver? Well, there you go again. That's going to be
they had Devontae, Waddle, and Mitchie.
Yeah.
I mean, our guys didn't know who to cover.
Yes.
They were like, no matter what. And then you have the running back.
Oh
You
my
got to
God. Man,
take
that
him off.
catch by
I'm too
Najee
busy
Harris.
thinking about their wide receivers. I've all of a
Like,
sudden forgot that.
yeah, like, man, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything to you. I was just kind of looking at the highlights myself this morning. That is impossible, man. You mean to tell me you have 3 NFL type of wide receivers and then a running back that went up and made a catch like he was a wide receiver? I say, good God, oh my, come on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, that is too many darn guys to cover all at once because shit, Najee Harris too. And the killer part about it is that Alabama doesn't have any running game. In these last 2 games that we've seen, Alabama doesn't have that much running game. But they've evolved with the rest of college football.
Right.
They
don't
like to
have to
throw
have
the
that much
ball.
of a running game because they have the wide receivers, and
They
the
got the
wide
wide
receivers are
receivers.
covered. They give it to Najee Harris.
Good Lord.
Oh man, it's
like
Mike
you said,
Elko was probably pulling out his hair. I don't know how much hair he has, but it can't be too much after yesterday.
Yeah.
In
Hell,
that,
Jimbo
but his
Fisher
game
is doing
scheme
the
just
thing.
wasn't there though.
Yeah.
Mike Elko's game scheme, it wasn't there. It didn't seem like much of a man on man. It's just
Hey,
that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
Now, man. That is not going to work against that NFL type of team. That is a NFL ready type of team. Any of you guys that's listening, all the scouts, y'all know this, but I'm gonna emphasize that again. And I'm an Aggie homer here, but I have to be real with you all. That is an NFL type of team in college football. That is by far the closest NFL type of team that you will ever see in college football. They go out and get all of the best recruits and put them all under one roof and say, you know what, you guys got one job. You might lose 1 or 2 games this year, but that's it. Losing 3 or 4, that in Alabama. Now us on the other hand, guys have to remember we're trying to develop that culture. Once again, we have the talent. So we weren't under talent on both sides of the ball. It's just how the way you execute your talent on both sides of the ball. We have talent on offense. Our receivers stepped up in a big way. That was talent on talent, and our receivers were showing you that, hell, we're talented too. Somebody just has to get us the ball. And it was good plays. And let me not forget, and I believe that a lot of us has missed that. That missed field goal on the first drive of the game. If you don't get any points going down the field on any team, not just Alabama, if you don't get any points going down the field, man, you're going to be in for a long day. Yes, you're going to be in for a long day. Do not know how that field goal got missed, but we missed it. Hey, stuff happens. I understand that. But the accuracy of that kick to be that short of a field, you have to make that. You got to make any points that you can playing against elite competition. Once again, you have to make those points. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
It's a team like that. Yep.
Yes.
It's a team like that. You got to take whatever you can. And, even though it's the first drive of the game, missing out on that 3 points, even though we felt it should have, if it had been a better pass, we'd have been closer to, 6 or 7 points on that first drive. Yeah. Mon made some bad throws and ended up having to try for the field goal, shanked the field goal, and that's the way it goes. And then they come down and
they scored.
I think it took 2 plays on their first drive
because they hit the long pass play.
Yeah,
they hit it. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people will bash me about the comments that I've been making about Jalen Jones. Because the simple fact I've said that he has the potential to be like a Derek Stingley. I still believe in that, and I still honor that. It's just a simple fact that Jalen Jones got beat by a guy that's just been out there on the field way longer than him. He just got beat. Now, was Jalen Jones looking for some help over the top? I believe he was, and that's why he just got beat so badly. And when he turned around and didn't see it wasn't no help over the top, he tried his best to make a play, but at that point, man, you're not going to catch that. you're not going to catch that receiver, man.
I think there was they did the replay and there was actually some confusion on the defensive side on who's to cover who. So yeah, I think that was a lot of it. But that much confusion, that many times to let those receivers just go like that for
get in your back
60, 70 plus yards repeatedly, it's
you
got to
man,
figure it
those are
out.
the type
And
of
then you had
plays
halftime to figure it out.
Yeah, and those are the type of plays that they run in practice. So, like I say, once again, it wasn't the talent overall, because we had got down by 14, and to see our defense actually come up with a game-changing play that actually tied that ball game up said a lot. And to see Kellen Mond go down the field and put the first points on the board when we were down 14-0 said a lot. But to see him actually tie the game up, in which, all right, wow, come on, Kellen. He was actually out there playing. He was playing. It's just our defense just so this game here, I will say that our defense did not show up. The defense did not show up in this game, and it showed in a huge way. It showed, man. It showed bad. So, which brings me to my next question: what the hell was Mike Elko calling on defense for over the top passing plays? Like, because I don't know. Because hey, man, look, I can tell you this right now. Mike Elko, after that first over the top pass play, he was doing this here. We'll call that play. That play didn't work. Well, damn, Mike, what are you doing at this point? So I'm not gonna lie to you. At that point, it should have been like a cover 4 or a cover 3. Cover 4 for sure, because you're keeping all of those dynamic receivers in front of you. It wasn't a cover 4. That shit looked like probably man, I have no clue what they were running. J.Sims, they help. Do you know? Help me out here.
I have no idea. Whatever it was, he needs to go back to the drawing board, because after looking at that video, there's no reason why our DB should be letting them go like that, man. Our corners, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Cover. Maybe you need to drop our corners back a little bit, because I know they're still pretty young, and with how quick, those players were, drop back about 5 more yards. Don't play on them,
Yeah.
Drop back a little bit, give them a little bit of room, and then, it's
yeah.
I don't know. That was the thing. It was almost hard to watch every time we went to, on defense. I was always afraid of the deep ball, and I think it happened like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it did.
We were able to put it on us 3 or 4 times.
It did, man, and it happened a whole lot. Like I say, if it's any Aggie fans out there, and if it's any Aggie alumni that played in that hell of a defense that we had years ago, please, guys, come to the comments now and give me an intake on what the hell type of defense was that. Because that defensive scheme there, man, it didn't work. It did not work. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was expecting maybe a couple of blitzes to just say, hey, well, Mac Jones, we see you. We're not going to keep on letting you sling the ball on us like that. But it wasn't. Or if it was a blitz, Alabama was just damn good at noticing the blitzes, and they were holding up their blocks, man.
That was a lot of it. They've got some big guys on the offensive line, and it was just a brick wall to get through.
Yeah,
it was. We couldn't. No matter what we tried, it seemed like we couldn't get Mac Jones out of the pocket. We couldn't get to him. We were able to get hands up, bat some passes down.
Yeah.
But other than that, we didn't have him running for his life like I was hoping we would.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that we were going to have to do. And that's pretty interesting that you had said that, because I was watching the Georgia and Auburn game. And that game ended up being like 27-6 Georgia. And what they did was just what you said they did. Now, am I trying to compare A&M to Georgia? No, people. No. If you guys are listening, hell no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if we maybe could have ran that style of defense, then it would have been a whole different dynamic type of game. Because what I seen in that Georgia and Auburn game, not to get off topic here, but Bo Nix was running for his life. And they actually sacked Bo Nix. I think maybe once or twice there. They were getting on Bo Nix' ass. Wasn't expecting Bo Nix to have that type of game, but I think Auburn came away with only about 200 some yards. 200. What? Gus? Come on, man. That's freaking crazy there. But just to say that though, man, but if we would have got maybe that type of pressure and at least just got him out the pocket or at least could have just got 2 sacks on him, the game would have went another way. Now will we have won it? No, not when we're giving up those type of passing plays. But the game would have been maybe a lot closer. I know people don't want to believe that from what they just seen, but the game would have been a little bit closer, man. So hey, it is what it is.
We had momentum on our side for a little bit there.
Yeah,
it felt good because I was thinking, we might be able to do this if we can get to Mac Jones, and it just never happened. We weren't really able to get to him. I wanted to see us frustrate him because when we saw that momentum coming to our side, our guys came alive. But with Alabama, it's not just a momentum game; it's a talent game.
Yeah,
they have talent. So
yeah. So the thing is that Alabama makes you play for 4 quarters. If you can't come out there and hang with them for 4 quarters, you're just not gonna. You're not gonna win that football game. And that is their mentality. Well, we got 4 quarters to play. We came out there and just played for a half. Instead, the hell with it. We were riding high on the momentum, like you say, and we just played for 1 half. So the problem is with Texas A&M right now, and this is when they're facing elite competition. We can't play all 4 quarters, man. What we seen yesterday, we cannot play all 4 quarters. We have to continue to play and fight. You have to continue to fight, man. If we do not fight, we will not put ourselves in a position to win against top elite competition. So, which leads into a question that I believe you have. Am I correct?
Yes. And actually, I had something to say before we got into that. To the point you made that we're not a team that can play all 4 quarters. Since Kellen Mond has been our quarterback, you're right. We have not been able to play 4 quarters. We've actually been a 1/2 team. Either in the first half, we'll start getting a little bit of momentum, start making plays. Second half. And the thing is when is it time to make that change at QB? When does Fisher decide it is time to set Kellen Mond down? A senior that he's been working with for 3 years now. When is it time? What do you think?
So to answer that question, and it's going to be a very short, brief answer with me. Kellen Mond has to absolutely have a bad game. Now, this last game, it wasn't Kellen Mond's fault. So will he sit him next game? No. If anybody's out there thinking that he's going to sit him down next game, the answer right now is no. But if Fisher does sit him down, will I agree with it and will I roll with it? Yes, hell yeah, I will roll with it. But right now, no. The time is not yet. Would I like for it to be now? From what I've seen with Haynes King, and once again, it's going to be a lot of people that bash me for this comment. He was playing against second team defense. Yes, I know that, people. I know it. Trust me. I was looking at the same game you were looking at. What that young man can do with his talent, he can come out and ball. We got a little glimpse of what he can actually bring to the table. All right. His arm is very accurate. He got that one interception, but he was a freshman. Come on, people. You know, we have to go ahead and let that go. But his potential is so far out there from the rest of the guys that was on that field that I've seen that makes me say, you know what? That guy is going to be something special. When he took the field, almost felt like, damn, it's some electricity that just cut on here. It was an electric spark that cut on. How the way he got down the field so fast, running a Jimbo Fisher's offense, was what I was thrilled about. But I mean, I can't say it was a Jimbo Fisher offense, but I know Jimbo Fisher has his handprint on there somewhere. Darryl Dickey is the offense coordinator at the end of the day. I know that. But what he was able to do was get down the field quicker than what Jimbo Fisher was even expecting. We just wasn't able to come away with some points, you know, because the score could have been 31-52, which would not said anything, but it would have said enough to be like, okay, well, hell, we can at least go 30 points, you know. But the answer to that question is no. He won't sit him down the next game. But if Kellen Mond does come out and have a bad first quarter, then yes, we could be looking at Haynes King, because I thought he was going to go with Zach Zelzada. Obviously, Haynes King is beating out Zach Zelzada, in my opinion, from looking at what he just did on that field. So I don't know how true that is, but from what we all just seen, it looks like Haynes King has beat him out.
Mm-hmm. To me, if against Florida,
mm-hmm.
it doesn't seem like we can get anything going
mm-hmm.
offensively,
mm-hmm.
I don't think there's much of a choice for Jimbo, because it's not necessarily anymore about right now.
Mm-hmm.
If we get down by 2 touchdowns, it's going to be hard for us to come back if we can't get any type of momentum going on offense.
Mm-hmm.
If it comes down to that,
mm-hmm.
I say you go ahead and you let King see what he can get started.
Mm-hmm.
If he can get anything started, if we can start getting some momentum, because King came out there and, like you said, there was some electricity that came, and even me, man, I was like, oh man, this game's over, but King is in. All right, we'll get to see what he did.
Mm-hmm.
He kept that drive alive to where Mond is supposed to be a dual threat quarterback. He's supposed to know when he's supposed to leave that pocket. Yesterday, he did a pretty good job. Mond did a pretty good job of keeping drives alive. He had pretty good accuracy on his passes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, King, he was very accurate. He knew when to leave the pocket. He kept the drive alive.
Yes.
And that interception, man, that wasn't on him.
Mm-hmm.
That was that running back. He should have fought harder for that. There's no reason to be behind that.
Right. I mean,
that was frustrating. That was frustrating.
Yeah.
That was.
But once again, it's the number 2 team in the country. Even their backups are elite. All right. Mm-hmm. We all know this. This isn't nothing new. If you're in the SEC West, or if you are not even in the SEC period, if you're a team that's not in the SEC, this shouldn't be nothing new. Mm-hmm. That is Alabama. They will reload. They will continue to reload until Nick Saban leaves. Okay, and that's just that. But anyway, not to get off topic, but like you say, if Kellen Mond has a bad game, Haynes King will be in there. Now, like I said, will Haynes King start next game? I don't know, but I'm not to my knowledge, and I honestly doubt that. But will something erupt at Kyle Field if he does take the field as a starter? Hell yeah. It will be a game changer.
We saw it with the players. We saw it with the players. The morale in the players kind of changed a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
because, man, I can tell you right now, defense coordinator isn't planning for Haynes King at Florida. They aren't planning for that. They're planning from Kellen Mond. All right. So if King does come in, that's going to throw off the entire Florida's game plan. Now Florida's going to look up and be like, well, hold on, who's this guy? You know, so no, I don't. Man, I don't think so.
If like I said, if we end up losing that game, to me, let me see what you think about this. If we end up losing that game, there's no reason to let Mon start another game. Go ahead and let King get his time in, because this is a free year for everyone. They can play all year long.
Yeah.
And he's still like a redshirt freshman. So in actuality, we get him for, if he stays this long, you know, his entire career at A&M.
And with a highly doubt, because the young one is
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's going to do maybe 2, maybe 3. I know for sure 2 though. If he's all as good as we just think, it's only going to be 2 years.
Even if somehow he were to stay 3, let's say he stayed 3, but he would have his time in. Like he would have played his freshman year.
Yep.
In next 2 years, man, he would already have that experience in it, and then go ahead and start letting our other freshmen coming in. Yep. Start seeing more Chain. Start seeing more Demas. You know, start letting the freshmen come in and see if we can start reviving this team a little bit.
Yeah,
because we've already seen 3 years and 2 games of Mond. And I don't know, his we need that captain. Yeah. We want that guy that can come up and even after an interception, just, you know, get on the sideline and clap and say, come on, guys, we can do this. And I was watching a podcast last night, and you know, there was a lot of talk about Johnny Manziel and a lot of other quarterbacks in past years for A&M. And a lot of people are wanting to see that captain, that guy that goes on the sideline, and whether there's a bad play or a good play, try to work up the morale of the players around you a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think we haven't seen that from Mon very often. He'll go and he'll sit on the bench and he'll talk about the plays, but we don't see that clap or come on guys, let's go get them. We had them last time. You know, let's try to do something different out there and get it going. And
right, because like you say, like we've all seen with Manziel, and I remember this very, very vividly. I remember a lot of it when we played in that Peach Bowl, and that was the last year for Johnny Manziel, of course. When we played in that Peach Bowl, and then we got down 24-0, I believe. How the way Johnny Manziel was able to take over that leadership role, by, you know, grabbing Mike Evans' helmet, pulling them to him, talking to him. Although Mike didn't want to talk, Evans did not want to talk to him. He was frustrated with himself. But Evans made the leap to say, all right, Johnny, what is it? Don't know what the hell he told him. Nor do I know what the hell he told that offense, period. But they came out those next couple of drives, and we seen the most electric type of Manziel that we had ever seen, you know, despite the Alabama game. But man, we seen an electric spark. Once again, we seen that electric spark. And I remember when he hurdled, no, he didn't hurdle him. He almost hurdled over a defender, but got back. You know, a lot of us remember that. He jumped on he jumped on the guy's back. I think, you know, we were playing Duke, and Duke was pretty good that year, but he jumped on his back, jumped back off, scrambled again, made a play. Wow. We ended up winning that game, man. Ended up being one of the best games of that season because it was so electric. And like you say, man, it's all about leadership, just taking charge and demand. Talking to your guys when they don't want to be talked to. You have to take that upon yourself to say, hey, man, come here. Let's talk. Don't know what you're doing, but you got to get this shit together. We're going to go back out there the next play. We're going to make a couple of plays, and we're going to get a touchdown. Like you said, man, if you don't have that type of command, then your team is not going to have that type of command. Or hell, if it's not going to be you, at least somebody else on that team
Someone
is going
else.
to have to
Right.
step up in the leadership role and say, hey, man, you know what? Come on, man. We got this. We got
Mhm.
this. Come on.
Need
Come on.
someone with leadership mentality, and that's something we've been lacking, I think, at quarterback. Quarterback, we already know is the main spot on that field, the main
Right.
position on that field. And if that leader is not your quarterback, then who is it?
Right.
That's the man that's going to keep your drive alive. That's the man you rely on to go down the field and score.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep drives alive. But when he makes a mistake or when someone else makes a mistake, he's supposed to go up there and say, "All right, we'll get him. We'll get him." I've seen holes. I've seen this. I've seen that. If your receiver drops the ball, don't just jump up and hold your own helmet. Go over to him and slap him on top and say, "Man, we'll get it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. He's still young. You're a senior. Take
Yeah.
over, man.
Yeah.
Take over. Go over there and say, "Don't worry about it.
I agree.
You missed that one, but I'm going to throw you another one and you're going to catch it."
Yeah. And that's crazy you said that, because Anais Smith, and Nick Saban even said it before the game. We don't know where in the hell Anais Smith is going to be at on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lie to you. That was one of the only guys that Alabama was looking for. They didn't fear anybody else. Anais Smith, though, he's starting to put fear in a lot of teams, man. What he was able to do in this game, though, despite the huge drop ball that he dropped, Anais Smith was able to take over and show everybody on national TV that, hey, man, I'm not scared of you. I don't give a damn if you're elite or not. I'm here to play.
Yeah.
I'm
That
here to
balancing
play.
act down the sideline he had, man.
Yes.
I thought he was out until the replay, and I was like, man, he stayed in.
I seen
He
it.
stayed
Man,
in.
wow.
The rest of that
Anais
Alabama
Smith was able to
defense
take
gave
over
up on
game.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we did right there, and we also started to see a lot of frustration on Nick Saban's face. I don't know if anybody looked at that sideline, but Nick was starting to get a little bit frustrated. Like, hold on, man, wait a minute. I'm gonna give you guys one more shot.
Yeah.
And they claim that one more shot. But Anais Smith, people, woo, that's got to be the most underrated guy in all of college football right now. He is out to prove a point, and that may just very well be the guy that we have to build around from now on this team. We have to put people out there to complement Anais Smith himself. Mm-hmm. That guy is dynamic. Isaiah Spiller, that guy as well, he didn't have that many yards rushing, but what he was able to do on getting those first downs were huge. That guy is going to be a premier third down type of running back that can get plays when you're not expecting. So Isaiah Spiller, hey man, if you're listening, keep it up. Keep it up.
He was able to open up the field with his gameplay. He really was.
Yes, he was. So what was the last question that you had? And it was a very interesting question that I did hear you talk about.
So to go along with this overreaction Sunday, will we ever catch top 5 teams, whether it be talent wise, whether it be on the field? We've seen it happen. We can do it. Can we do it consistently? Will we ever see that change, that change of culture to where we get, I know momentum's not the word, but the mentality of on the field just saying, hey, we can do this. They're a number 3 team, but we're just as good as they are.
It or not if better. To be totally honest with you, like you say, man, Florida's the number 3 team. But to answer that question, can we or will we ever catch the top 5 elite competition? We will. But the thing is this, and like I say, I even heard that from an Alabama fan. We're just quarterback away. People, if you are listening, we're just a quarterback away. Our defense didn't show anything, so now it looks like we only a man or two on defense away. No, that's not true. We just kept on getting beat deep. All right. The defensive line actually stepped up because we're now starting to hold competition to at least maybe like 100 yards even rushing, which is huge, by the way. But we are going to catch top 5 competition here real soon. Like I say, we're on the quarterback away. We've gotten pretty much everything else kind of figured out. We have a tight end to play some of these defenses now. Watermeyer stepping up. I think he had about 80 yards off of like 5 or 6 catches, which is insane for a tight end to have. But I ain't trying to take away nothing from Kyle Pitts. Yes, Kyle Pitts is the phenomenal tight end in all of college football right now. But we are just a quarterback away, man, from competing with elite top 5 competition. Now, do we have the competition now to go out and play with top 5 teams? We do. It's just a simple fact that we're not showing it offensively. Like I say, man, we punted the ball twice in 2 games. We punted the ball 2 times against the number 2 team in all of college football. Do you know how huge that is going into other games? Do you know what that says to a lot of people? They got the guys. They just got to execute. Man, they have to start hitting play. We have to start hitting big pass plays. We cannot be scared to throw the ball deep. I noticed that we have not done that in the past 2 games. We got to start throwing the ball deep. I understand we may not believe in Kellen Mond in passing the ball deeply. So it's probably why they're only giving them like 10, 15-yard pass plays, in my opinion. But we have to start throwing the ball deep. And when we start throwing it deep, now we will start showing that, hey, man, we're here. We can actually compete with you guys. But if we're not going to throw the ball deep, nah, but we're actually a quarterback away, man. We are.
I agree. If we can get that quarterback, and that's what kind of brings us back to, when does, Jimbo make that change at quarterback? Mm-hmm. And that's why I kind of said, you know what, this is top 3 talent. If we can get that quarterback in there that can go out there and keep drives alive, better than Mond, there's no reason to start him the next game. Let's go ahead and let that future get in there, get some reps in. I'm sorry, Mond. Thank you for deciding you want to come to A&M.
Right.
We've got to start looking towards the future. And Jimbo's done it before. He hasn't done it very often. He doesn't change quarterbacks in the middle of the season very often. But it's happened. It's been a long time. Mm-hmm. But if it comes down to it, this is Jimbo's job.
Yeah, it is. So this is always the question. Is he worth $75 million? Now, we've only seen 3 seasons. Once again, this is an overreaction. It's a lot of people that's going to overreact. I've been seeing people overreact for the past 2 years now. The guy's only in year 3, people. It's only year 3. And we're overreacting like that? Come on, guys. Are we really serious? Understand he's getting $75 million for 10 years. Underline, double underline, 10 years. Is that to say, okay, well, in year number 10, I think we'll be good? Hell no, man. It's just, man, it's a lot of people that doesn't do it in 3 years, people. That's like a once in a lifetime type of thing, man. Hell, it took Dabo Swinney 7 years to get to where
he had bad years.
And now he's rolling. Yes, it took him 7 good years, but he got blown out in some of those 7 years, man. But he kept on going. A lot of guys didn't believe in him. But I bet you your ass is a lot of guys that believe in all the guys who didn't believe in him at first. Oh, they're on the bandwagon now. They're all Clemson now. But guys, it just takes time, man. It takes time. We're not going to get everything in 3 years. We're not going to get it in 3 years. I'm sorry. We're not. We are just not. We still have a whole lot of fixing to do. Now, Texas A&M wasn't known for being elite in football competition, man.
That's what I was about to bring up.
That's one thing that we have to understand. We weren't known for being a premier competition in football in the state of Texas. The only guys that were known for that, and which we all freaking hate, is the Texas Longhorns, people. That was the premier program in Texas for a long time, and we're talking about decades along. But now the ship is starting to turn because we're starting to be the premier the premier school in Texas. You know, it's a lot of Longhorn fans going to disagree with that shit. You know, they still feel like no, we're the school. No, you're not. No, you're not. And once again, we've seen them fall to TCU out of all schools. We've seen them fall to TCU, and TCU is now 7-2 against the Longhorns since joining the Big 12, which is crazy. A lot of people going to bash me for that. I know it. That ain't got nothing to do with A&M. We still, you know, dominant over you guys. So what? You know, that rivalry is over with. Don't know when it'll come back. But it'll especially probably come in a bowl game or something, you know.
It's starting in recruiting. Yeah. We're the top school the top team in the state.
Yeah.
In recruiting.
As of now.
You know.
Yeah.
We're averaging, that top 5 recruiting. Every year since Jimbo's been here. We did it a couple of times when someone was here. But we're doing a lot better recruiting than what the other schools in the state are.
Right.
But it takes years, like you brought up, it takes years to build that team, that elite mentality. We don't have to worry about Texas anymore.
No,
they're in the Big 12.
Yeah, they're in the Big
we're in the best conference in college football, in college sports. Yeah. I mean, basketball.
Your ass is gonna be hard.
Yeah,
it's gonna be way harder now.
It'd be hard.
It's real hard now. Now you have to deal with Alabama, who's way better than Texas. We have to deal with them. Deal with Alabama, that's way better than Oklahoma. You know, so like you say, man, it's going to take years when you're playing against elite competition, because if you're not recruiting how the way they're recruiting, as well as LSU, you know, that's been owning us for the last couple of years, then it's going to be out of there, man. It is going to be out of there. So, yeah.
I see a bright future ahead. It just takes some time. I mean, it took Jimbo 4 years at FSU to win the championship, I believe. His first year, I believe, was a losing season, and it got better from there. Nick Saban, when he got to Alabama, I believe he had a losing season. 3 or 4 years later, he had his team where he needed it. Jimbo's getting now, like you said earlier, just a couple of minutes ago, we don't have that elite status that those other schools have. So we're having to build that.
Yeah.
You know, in the 90s, R.C. Slocum, we had a good team, but that was a SWC type team.
Yeah,
Southwest. You know, that was And then when we'd go and play in bowl games against Notre Dame,
man, we'll get beat.
Man, we get beat against Florida State. Now, we were able to hang with those teams for the most part, but we just couldn't beat them.
Yeah.
You know, we won the Big 12 championship, and I believe it was 99 or 2000.
But
that was a big step for this school.
Yeah, and it was.
But
it was.
This isn't the Big 12 anymore. We don't have to worry about that. We got to worry about the SEC.
Yeah.
You know,
this is SEC play, people. And also, you know, we have to bring up an interesting point here. And after this, you know, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. But man, we have to bring up an interesting point here. It's been a lot of fans that has said, well, Jimbo Fisher just might not be the coach for us. Once again, guys, overreacting. This is year 3, man. We cannot keep on doing this. You know, I'm just saying, man, you know, he haven't done it now, you know, well, when will he do it? What? Guys, we have to get this out of our head. Jimbo Fisher is a smart and good head coach. You cannot ask a whole lot from a guy in only 3 years. You cannot ask for that. That is this look, coaching, being a head coach in college football is starting to be a whole lot harder than a head coach in NFL.
Mhm.
You know, that's what it's looking like now. You cannot ask much for a man in year 3 of his contract team. You know, hell, because if that was the case, Will Muschamp should have been gone already. You know, and not like I say, not to get off subject here, but guys like that should have been gone already. But people know, in the administration office, okay, well, there's going to be a challenge. Once again, this is SEC. We have to play elite people. You're going to have to give this guy some time. And I'm pretty sure Jimbo Fisher is sitting there at his desk or at his home, wherever he's at right now, scratching his head like, man, shit, man, it's going to take a little bit longer than what I thought it would. Mm-hmm. Mike Elko, defense coordinator. I'm pretty sure he's at home doing a whole lot of film studying. Like, goodness gracious, this is going to take a little bit longer than what I thought it was going to take.
I hope he's doing that.
So, hey, man. But we have to get that out of our question because I just don't know who you would go out and get at the moment.
If not, then who? I mean, if Jimbo isn't the one, then who?
Yeah.
It's I saw several guys, several posts saying, Mike Leach. Oh, okay, Mike Leach. Oh, all right. Well, sure. He beat a diminished LSU team, who is coming up with a new quarterback. Yeah, who's coming up with a new quarterback, and who their main wide receiver, the number one wide receiver, was out that game. LSU probably got beat that in that game anyway against Mississippi State. Mm-hmm. But then Mike Leach goes and loses to Arkansas, a team that has a 20-game losing streak in SEC. Mm-hmm.
Just giving Sam Pittman his what you call it, make a statement win, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. He's just giving Sam Pittman that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know of another coach, and then we hire that coach. Say we do hire a different coach. Mm-hmm. Is he elite enough to be able to bring in the same talent that Jimbo's bringing in? Because Jimbo's able to recruit. Fisher is able to recruit really well, and we're seeing that every year in, year out.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of it too. It's not just going on the field and winning. It's bringing in kids, keeping them here. Yeah. And for the most part, I think a lot of them are staying. Now, the guys that aren't, those guys, the guys that opted out, those aren't Jimbo's guys. Only one was, Mm-hmm. So for the most part, it looks like these kids are starting to believe.
Yeah.
They're playing for him.
Yeah.
A lot of our frustration is, I think, a lot of, why is Mon still in there and not a kid you recruited really heavily?
Yeah.
We don't know that. We're all wanting him to go ahead and make that decision, I think, of just, see the talent he's bringing in, and we're starting to see that. But like you said, it's only year 3, and this is a weird year, with the pandemic and everything else playing into it.
Right.
So I don't know of another coach. I mean, if someone else knows, please feel free. But, a big game coach that can go out there and win bowl games and recruit at the same time and try to compete with Alabama, LSU, year in, year out. This is not a schedule we were supposed to have either because of the pandemic. We were supposed to be playing, Colorado,
right?
Abilene Christian. All that's our schedule almost looks like what it did last year. We're having to play 2 or 3 top 5, top 10 teams in the next 3 weeks. Everything's changed now. We got a hard schedule again this year.
Right.
But the good thing is we have a lot of new talent coming in, and they're
Right.
getting
Right.
experience against those top 3, top 4, top 10 teams. Go in, let them get that experience. So I'm happy where we're at. I hope things continue the way it's going.
Right.
I like the trend.
Right.
I like where we're trending. So uh to say that Jimbo needs to go and we're paying too much, yeah, we're paying him a lot of money.
Right.
But
Right.
he's doing the job,
Right.
and it's gonna start showing here really soon, I think. I believe. And I'm not a Kool-Aid drinker by any standards. If I see something and something's going wrong, I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna say it,
Right.
But
Right.
right now, I like the way we're trending.
Yeah.
I see a lot of positives out of yesterday, along with the negatives. And let's move it on to next week. Let's get
Yeah.
these guys going. Let's get them ready.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So yeah, man. Like you said, we seen a whole lot of positives. Like I say, now the score doesn't indicate that by all means, but it was a lot of positive in that game. But like you say, man, as long as we keep on bringing in competition to compete, then man, we are going to head in the right direction. It's just we all have to be patient. I've seen a lot of comments on, oh man, I've been patient for decades now, and hell, man, we just don't got it. Well, I'm gonna tell you like this: Alabama. I mean, I'm just naming a couple teams here. Alabama has had a losing decade at once. But they found the coach to come get them to it, but they worked with them. They gave them time. Uh, Also, other teams that's in the elite talent pool, in elite, in amongst the elites, blue bloods. They've all had losing decades or a losing decade period. Oklahoma is one of them with Bob Stoops, in which that guy had the most talent of any school at one point, but was only able to come away with one national title in all of his team. And he was at that school for 20 years. Produced NFL talent like no other, though, but only one national title, by all means. Now, do we want that? Now most of us Aggie fans just at least want one national title, but before we get out of here, we at least want one. But do we want a guy to be there for 20, 30 years and only come away with just one? No. I don't want that. I want us to compete with elite competition but like we just seen and not get blown out. But blowouts are going to happen. Hell, we all seen Alabama get blown out by Clemson in the national title game that year, in which I believe Nick Saban has still got on his mind heavily. He hadn't let that go. He ain't going to say it, but he hadn't let that go, man. He hadn't let that go at all. But for the most part, I believe we'll be all right with Jimbo Fisher. It's just a simple fact of, man, we just have to give him time. So it is what it is. But once again, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it on up here. We've been going for about an hour. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it on up here. Once again, this is the overreaction. This is the overreaction Sunday. So anything that you guys have to say that frustrates you, please, guys, leave all of those in the comments. J.Sims, I want to thank you for being the guest on the show today.
Hey, anytime. I want to thank you for taking your time out from your family and doing what you're doing right now, because I enjoy it, and I know a lot of other guys do too. We're getting a lot of good information, and just someone else talking about Aggie sports, man, Aggie football. That's what we want to see. So
like I say, man, this J.Sims, guys, please make sure you all are following him on Facebook, and he is the Aggie faithful at the end of the day. So please, guys, make sure that you guys go and follow him. Once again, this is the Homemade Podcast Sports with your host J Pops. Please, 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 guys, leave those comments. I thank you all for tuning in. J.Sims, I thank you very, very much for tuning into the show. And because of people like you, it's going to continue to make me produce more and more podcasts. So I thank you once again for being a guest on the show. Once again, guys, it's the hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. This is your host, J Pops. Hashtag Giggle Mag.
And thank you guys for tuning in to the hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. Please, guys, subscribe to the YouTube page and also follow me on Twitter at JPops, on Instagram at JPops, and also on Facebook at hashtag Homemade Podcast Sports. Thank you guys once again. Hashtag Giggle Mag.